I know Nolan really want to hit on this. We're going to start off with the NFL Panic Meter. Now, this segment is really aimed at the teams, not the people on the teams. We're going to name the teams that we are very worried about and if we should be worried about them. And we can discuss that. Nolan, I'm going to start with you because you brought this to our attention. What
Yeah,
is your
so
opinion?
I want to go through a couple different teams here that are anywhere from 0 and 2 to even 2 and 0. I'd say that there are a couple 2 and 0 teams that I'm panicking on a little bit. And but first, I want to start with Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, they're 0 and 2 for the first time in the Mahomes era. They played two really good teams, the Chargers and the Eagles here. But how hard are we panicking on them, gentlemen? Do we think that it is time to panic, or do we think that this is just early season and they're going to be right there at the end in Super Bowl contention?
I mean, to be honest with you, they play the Giants this weekend, which is not easy. I'm not gonna lie. After last week, it's not easy. But I'm not really that worried about them. I'm not really worried that they're gonna teeter off. They still have, one of the best quarterbacks ever, one of the best coaches ever. Unfortunately, they still have Travis Kelsey, who I think is lost it.
He's
But
washed.
I I think I think they're gonna be okay. I don't think they'll win the division this year. I really don't. If they do somehow, I'll be shocked because the Chargers start off with 3 division games, and the Chiefs start off with only one. So it'll be they'll be behind for a while. So that's uh that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think I'm really worried about them teetering off. I think they'll still make the playoffs somehow, but not as a 1 seed.
Yeah, I'd
I
say
think
like yeah, you can go ahead, Chris.
I think I probably, if I had to put this on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 3.5, 4, somewhere in there. Because when you look at them too, have they been very underwhelming, especially offensively? This is probably the weakest roster as of right now that Mahomes has had in this era. But you also got to consider that Rashee Rice is not playing. Xavier Worthy is not playing. That receiving core at some point this season will be replenished, and Mahomes will be able to hit deep balls again. He won't have to rely on Travis Kelsey, and the offense in general won't have to rely on Travis Kelsey to be a major playmaker once those two guys come back and are healthy again and active. So I'm not super worried about them so far. I think they're going to turn it around. Now, will they win the division? I don't know because the Chargers look really formidable right now, but I think they're definitely going to turn it.
Yeah, I would put this at like a 2 or a 3 maybe for on a scale of 1 through 10. I think that the Chiefs are going to be there in playoff contention or not playoff Super Bowl contention again. But I think that Chris is right. This is definitely the worst roster that we've seen with the Mahomes-led Chiefs. I just think that this team is not going to be able to compete down the stretch. I think I like the Bills better than them. I like the Ravens better than them. I like the Chargers better than them right now. Um, I think that there's a lot of teams that are going to give them some problems in the AFC, but I would not be surprised to see them go to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl this year still. I think that this 0-2 start is just kind of a product of who they've played compared to it's a problem with their roster overall. So yeah, I'd put them at like a 3. Now
I
with
mean,
the
also just really quickly, that Brazil game, you can't take a ton from that either, just because you're
Why
traveling to
not?
an entire different country.
Why not? Hold
It's
on.
those
Wait,
foreign
wait,
games, man.
wait.
Anything can happen.
Hold
I'm
on.
not
No,
saying
both teams traveled though. You can't say that. Both teams traveled, and they both
yeah, it's a
were
wash for
across the.
both teams. The Chargers looked really good again this week, proving that they're a formidable team. But it's week one. It's in a different country. I just don't take a ton from those games. Now,
Listen,
was it
listen.
fun to watch the Chiefs lose in that game? Of course,
I will
but I
say,
don't think it means a ton in the long run.
if they lose this weekend, hit the panic button.
Oh
Dead
yeah,
fast.
well,
that's a different.
100%. Yeah, that's
If
That's
Russell
not.
that's a
Wilson drops
completely different
400 yards
scenario.
again and wins the game, which I don't think is going to happen, just understand that this is going to be very ugly for them if they lose
I,
this game.
I mean,
But continue.
do you think that the Cowboys Giants game was more of the Giants playing good, or was that more of the Cowboys showing how bad the Cowboys
I
defense
think the
is?
Giants just played really good, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree.
Dable's
I
not a
think
I think
that
it's
bad
both.
coach.
they surprised me
Honestly,
a
I
little
think
bit.
it's both. I think it's
I don't.
both because that Cowboys secondary was missing Deron Bland, but they looked like Swiss cheese out there, man. And because they don't get any pass rush now that Micah's gone, that defense is in a heap of trouble.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know, man. I think the Giants. I told everyone before the season started. I know the Giants aren't going to win the division, but please look out for them. Like they're not, they weren't that bad last year on defense. They were bad on offense because they didn't have a quarterback. Russell Wilson is a great quarterback, a Hall of
I was
Famer in my
freaking out on
eyes.
him after week 1, and I was like, he's going to be all
I'm
right.
just
I
saying.
think.
I'm just saying. Brian Daboll, he won Coach of the Year a few years ago. I mean, we can't really. Come on, man. We just keep an eye on them. I know they're gonna pull some upsets off for sure. But go ahead, Nolan.
There's a lot worse coaches out there for sure. Okay, next team I want to go to. It's a shame that he's not here to talk about them, but it's the Chicago Bears. They're sitting at 0-2. Week 1 through 3 quarters, we were talking about, okay, this Chicago team might be one that could actually compete for the playoffs this year. And ever since then, ever since quarter 4 started in week 1, now we're talking about them being bottom of the barrel team again this year. They gave up 52 points to the Detroit Lions last week. They didn't look too promising on offense. I think the only bright spot on this team has been Roma Dunze. Um, what do we think on a scale of 1 to 10? How much are we panicking with the Bears sitting at 0-2 this week? They got the Cowboys coming to them in Chicago. How hard are we panicking, fellas?
Go ahead, Chris.
So this one's actually a little tougher, I think, than most people realize because their schedule was brutal at the start of the year. They have a first-year head coach, a lot of moving pieces, especially on the offensive line. So I expect that at least the offense, for the most part, to progress throughout the season as they get more acclimated with the system. Caleb builds more chemistry with those new receivers like Luther Burden, and if they actually decide to put Colston Loveland into the offense and not just have him stand on the sideline the whole time.
Yeah.
Now their defense, oh my goodness, a train wreck, complete train wreck. Jalen Johnson, their best corner, one of the better corners in the NFL, out for the season. Kyler Gordon right now injured. Brian Poles has made 34 draft picks since he was hired as the general manager of the Chicago Bears. 0 have made a Pro Bowl. I mean, there's not much more to say there than the guy can't draft. He's got a severe losing record. They just extended him last season. He's made moves, but it feels like he's a year late recognizing weaknesses. He was a year late on the offensive line. If he would have recognized and identified and solved that problem last year, Caleb would have been in so much better of a spot. All of the issues that were created as a result of a lack of offensive line wouldn't have happened. Now, this year, they have no pass rush on that team. None. And because of that, the secondary looks like burnt toast as well. So there's just, it feels like every time one issue gets resolved, another one pops up. And that's not to say that the offensive line has been perfect either, but the defense is definitely where the problems are right now for the Chicago Bears. I think overall I'm going to give them a 7, but defensively it's a 10, offensively it's like a 5.
I wanna start by saying I was never on the Bears hype in the first place, but I was expecting them to be a little bit better than what I've seen. Now, their offense, Ben Johnson, I don't think it's his fault. I just think the offense is literally that dysfunctional, and I don't think they know what the hell they're doing out there. I think Caleb Williams doesn't know how to read a defense. I think he gets nervous, very nervous when the ball gets snapped, and when you can tell because when a rusher comes at him, he tries to scramble like he did in college. It doesn't work still. It's week. It's year 2, and it's still doing the same thing. Holding the ball, he's throwing the ball in the triple coverage on the Lions team who won 14 games, 15 games last year. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, you're in hostile territory in Detroit. I mean, it's a dome. You can't hear outside. You can only hear inside. Everyone's screaming, Caleb, Caleb, Caleb. He lets everything get in his head, and it destroys the offense. Now, I will say that the offensive line is not that great. It is a lot better than last year. I will say that, but they were letting
Not a
they
high
were not
bar.
chipping. They were not sliding to the right or the left to make sure that the protection was great. Caleb also has to call that stuff out as a quarterback, and he has to recognize blitzes, which he doesn't do. It is just a mess with the quarterback situation as a Bears again. Now, I don't know if it's just the Bears organization that does this because Ben Johnson is new, so I don't know who to blame it on necessarily, but it's just the entire offense of the Bears is just disgusting. And then you got the defense just letting up 50 points. And I'm just like, dude, like, what happened to this defense? I know they're injured right now, but like, they had such a great defensive plan against the Lions last year, especially on Thanksgiving, and they just didn't apply that at all this year. So I'm a little disappointed for watching them this weekend, but I I'm gonna give them like an 8. I'm very worried about this team, man. I'm really, really, really worried about this team. I was never on the train in the first place, but as a football fan, you got to be worried about a team that's this young and just trying to get things right. And you got to be worried if the Titans look better than you. You know what I mean? So that's what that's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I'm going to give them an 8 as well. I think that it's time to panic on this team. I mean, to Chris's point, the defense has just been so bad. I don't trust the defense at all. And if this is the offense that we are rolling with to win shootout games, I mean, it's rough. Like Caleb Williams, I think the reason why Caleb Williams looked so good in week 1, at least through 3 quarters, was because he was getting rid of the ball a lot quicker. And
Yeah,
he held on to the ball so long last year. He just wouldn't scramble. He wouldn't get rid of it. And he was getting rid of the ball quick. He was scrambling quick, but as a thrower, he really wasn't all that impressive. He made a couple of good throws, aided by a couple of really nice catches. I mean, Roma Odunze had that really nice one on the sideline week 1. Like I said, I mean, Odunze has, I think, been the only bright spot on this team through the first 2 weeks. And again, if this is the offense that we're trusting to win shootout games, it's going to be a rough season. I mean, looking at their next 2 games, you got the Cowboys this week at home. They might be able to win that one. I still think the jury's kind of out on the Cowboys. I'm not exactly sure what to think of them because they played good against the Eagles and then they won against the Giants, but they gave up all those points. So I don't know. But then they got the Raiders on the road. The Raiders are a much better team this year than I think a lot of people thought they were going to be coming into the year. Um, and they got a bye week, and then I mean their schedule. They got the Commanders on the road week 6. They got the Saints at home, get easy game week 7. Week 8 they got the Ravens on the road. I mean they have a tough, and if you go down the line, they have a lot of tough games. Um, so I just think that this is not a playoff team. I think especially with the NFC North, you still got to play 4 more NFC North games, including 2 against the Green Bay Packers, who non-biased, like actually just stepping back, look to me like the best team in the NFL right now, through the first 2 weeks of the season. And I just think that you could chalk at least 3 of those games up as losses, in the NFC North. And, I just think that this is a Chicago Bears team that once again got the hopes up too high and is coming crashing to the ground, as we have started the season. And they're kind of in the same spot that they've been in the last 4 years. And again, to Chris's point, I think that Ryan Poles needs
oh
to be
man,
he
he's
needs to be
cooked,
I
man.
gone.
mean,
He's
there's
terrible.
one other stat that stands out to me so far about this Bears team, and it's the amount of penalties that they racked up through weeks 1 and 2. They had
Dude, same thing
12
as last
Oh
penalties
year.
yeah,
in week
same
1.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's just those are things that like good coaching can only do so much. Because I think Ben Johnson, he's been scheming up really good. His scheming has been incredible the first 2 weeks. It's a lot like it was in Detroit. It's just Caleb's not able to find the guys. But those penalties, man, they're drive killers. We know that as Packers fans last year. Constant false starts, constant holding, wiping out Josh Jacobs' big run. So, I mean, those are the things that are inexcusable. There's things that, okay, you can chalk it up to not knowing the scheme as well yet, still getting acclimated with everything. But penalties like false starts and holdings are inexcusable, and those can't happen. And they've been happening in bunches for Chicago so far.
yeah, and I mean, it doesn't. Final thought doesn't help that Loveland. I mean, your top 10 pick had what, a couple targets, no catches. I mean, it was
When that's an entire other can of
rough.
worms
It was
because you're
rough.
spending a top 10 pick on a luxury player, like I would say.
When
Like
you had
something
Cole
you
Kmet
don't
already,
something you don't need. You have a really good tight end in Cole Kmet. Now I know Ben Johnson
well,
likes to run 2 tight end
really
sets.
good at
Where's
that.
the second tight end? Okay, serviceable tight end.
I
But
think that people should start taking notes from Jim Harbaugh and just draft the linemen. Now, I don't I don't
Yeah,
say I don't say like draft any lineman. Obviously, you got to draft the best one. Like Joe Alt, when they drafted him, I was a little salty. I'm not gonna lie because I'm like, you need to get
he
a
was
Herbert
good.
some weapons. But
I was
then he
okay.
started playing, and I'm like, wait, this guy's almost better than Slater. So
Yeah,
like, you know what I
clearly the
mean?
best guy.
Joe Alt is a generational tackler right now, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to inform all of you, but if the Packers and Chargers play in the Super Bowl, Micah Parsons is doing nothing against Joe Alt. I'm just saying. But hey, who am I to say that? Anyways, go ahead to your next team, Nolan. I wanna get this done quick.
Yeah, we have time maybe to get a couple more in if we go quick here. I want to go to a team that's 2-0 now, as we've been two 0-2 teams. Let's go to a team that's 2-0, and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
This is a team that has not looked that convincingly 2-0. They got a 17-16 win against the Browns week 1. They did good week 2, but I mean, they had Joe Burrow go down, and I mean, it was a close game against the Jaguars. And now Joe Burrow is out for 3 months. You got Jake Browning leading the team, and I mean, Chase Brown has looked less than ideal. Jamar Chase had a good week 2, but week 1 was a little rough. How are we judging this team? Do we think that the 2-0 is like a fluke? Are we panicking on them? I personally think they're not going to make the playoffs anymore with Joe Burrow going down. I don't know. What do you fellas think?
I think I'm with you on this one. My concern is around a 6 or a 7, probably. That defense is still, besides Trey Hendrickson, is not good.
Atrocious.
I mean, if you look at that offense too, the line isn't good either. It's really just Jamar, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown out there with a backup quarterback now. I'm not very confident in this team's ability to make a deep run. But I will say that the AFC North is probably a bit weaker this year than it has been in the last few, with the Browns being really down this year. The Steelers' defense looking not great so far, which is
Oh, we'll
supposed to
get
be
to
their
that.
staple.
We'll get to
Yeah.
that. Oh, my
But
goodness.
yeah, I don't see a path for this team to make the playoffs unless the other teams basically do what the Jaguars did on Sunday and hand it to them on a silver platter.
Listen, I think I think you guys are on track. I think I'm not okay. This might sound crazy. I'm not that worried about them. I'm not. Now listen, hear me out. Jake Browning is arguably the best backup in the league. I mean, I can't really think of another one that besides like Malik Willis, maybe. Malik Willis is only good because of Matt LaFleur. Jake Browning's always been good outside,
Then why were they
you know.
trying to trade for Willis so hard, dude?
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like Jake.
I
I
mean,
just think
I
Jake
think
Browning can
just
really
have an
sling
extra
that.
option.
I think Jake Browning is very accurate. He has some wheels on him. He can throw the ball. He has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins still. I mean, who's saying that he can't go on a little run? He has Isuvas. I mean, he's got some weapons still. I mean, any quarterback in that situation is bound to be somewhat, just good. I mean, Jamar Chase had 11 of 14 receptions the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, he was open every play, and they were hitting him. I know Joe Burrow got him some, but Jake Browning also got him a lot.
My concern with Browning is the 3 picks. I just feel like that's his struggle.
Yeah, that's
is that
true.
he's going to give
That's
it to
true.
the team a lot.
But you can say the same thing for Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston was on this team, it'd be 4 picks a game. But hey, you're winning the game. You're winning the game. Hey, I mean, that's a great comparison. That's a fair comparison, in my opinion. I think if you got those picks, if you're winning the game, I know the picks are going to suck, and your defense is trash. So you really can't be throwing picks like that. But
Yeah.
Jake Brown, if they can hold on for like 2 months, let's say they hold on to maybe they're already 2-0. We gotta highlight that. Being 2-0 already is very important to this team right now. Very important. Okay. So if they can hold on, get a few more wins, they're not going to beat the Ravens. I know that. I don't know when they play the Ravens, but they're not going to beat the Ravens.
They also play the Packers in that stretch too on the
right.
road.
So that's going to be tough. That's not cool. That's not great. Joe Burrow does not get a chance to go play in Lambeau, which kind of sucks. I was really looking forward to him, but just understand that it's going to be very tough. But I don't think they're going to have that big of a deal. I think it's going to be fine. Like you said, the division is a lot weaker. They can still get second somehow. I don't think they will. The Steelers are better right now to me, but I just think I'm at a 5 with them, 5 or 6 right now. I know it's crazy. I know it is, but I'm not ready to pull the plug on them yet.
My one concern with them. Go ahead.
I think that's fair. I think a 6 is about where I have them at. To me, this seems like a similar team to the Bears, but a team that is better equipped to win those shootout games. Like, the defense is going to give up a lot of points, just like that in Chicago. But I trust this offense a lot more, even with Jake Browning, to put up enough points to win the game. But again, I'm concerned about my concern with Browning is that he's going to give it to the other team too much. I think that the turnovers could cost him a few games in this stretch. And then Joe Burrow, how good is he when he comes back from injury? That's always a concern. It's, he's obviously young, and I don't think he's going to be terrible by any means or anything like that, but is he slow to come back once he does get back? I think it's just all going to be dependent on where Browning kind of leaves him. Now, the good thing is that they get the Vikings this week. They get an injured Vikings team. Although I think Carson Wentz could turn some heads this week. I'm not.
I agree.
I think
former MVP candidate.
Yeah,
Kevin O'Connell's good at bringing back some of those like
he is. He's good at bringing QBs
project
back
type
from the dead.
quarterbacks. Yep.
They got
You
the
gotta remember,
Broncos at
man.
home then, or the Broncos on the road then after that. I'm not super sold on the Broncos this year. You got the Lions at home. It'd be a tough one. Packers on the road, but they got a game against the Steelers, the Ravens. I mean, so that's a tough stretch. But this
You can
isn't
win some though, man.
impossible.
I mean, like Nas said, though, they'll probably win one of those games out of the four.
Right.
I don't see them losing all four.
I think
However,
Steelers probably.
my concern with them is just the defense. Like, we saw Burrow put up 37 points and lose last year. I don't know if I'm confident in the fact that Jake Browning can put up that many points if the defense is going to surrender that many. Now, could the defense be a little bit better this year than it was last year? Maybe. But they didn't make any super marginal improvements on that side of the ball. Instead, they decided to extend Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and commit to two guys on offense and just commit to the we're going to win shootout games thing. Lock down Joe Burrow's guys. I mean, I get it, but I don't know if Browning's going to be able to put up 28 to 35 points every week when that might more likely than not be what he needs
That's
to
a
do.
fair concern. That's a fair concern. I'm not as concerned yet, man. Go ahead, no.
All right, last team, and we're going to go super quick on this one. I just want your number and then a few quick thoughts about them so we can move on here. But I want to talk about the Houston Texans because this was a team that a lot of people thought was going to.
Oh my God. Holy
a lot of people, myself included, I thought
man.
they were still going to be top of the NFC South, and I understand that their defense has been really rough, but CJ Stroud has looked garbage.
Horrible.
Horrible.
Oh my God.
I
let
want
me
to
get
say that the defense has not looked rough.
Stop it, Chris.
8 with
Oh
the
my
Houston
God.
Texans team.
The defense?
The defense is amazing. They were
Well, yeah, that's
destroying
what I'm
Baker
saying.
Mayfield.
Sorry, I misspoke.
Oh, I thought you said they were
Okay.
bad.
The offense.
I was going to say, like, no, the defense is incredible.
No, I meant the offense. My mistake. But yeah, I think that this team, I don't know. I don't trust Stroud. I'm in 8 with them. I think that they're 0-2 right now. They're 0-2 right now. It's been a few close games, but I mean, man, it's just this offense. It just looks so poor. And I thought that Stroud might, I know that he had no offensive line, but I thought he might take a step back to his rookie self this year. And he looked worse than he did year 2. He looks so bad. And so does the rest of this team. They get the Jags this week. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm in 8 with them. I think that this is a team that it's going to be rough. And I kind of like Sam's prediction now. The Jaguars are going to win this division because I'm still not sold on the Colts are legit.
Oh my God, no.
The Colts
are
could be
going to win it.
2024 Saints run. That's what I'm worried
Think the
about.
Colts are going to win it?
I don't think they are because I think there's a
Yes.
bit more talent on this team, but
Listen, go ahead, Chris.
I would say probably a 7 or an 8 for this one too. It's the most perplexing thing to me was trading Laramie Tunsil. Like, I'm not super in tune with the Texans as much as I am with some other teams, but why did they do that? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. They're one like rock solid offensive lineman, had some penalties last year. However, there's nothing there, and they knew that, and they did nothing to address it. So Stroud's rushed all the time. They're not able to establish a running game, and Stroud's arm has been a bit inconsistent so far too. So obviously defense is incredible, but the offense leaves a ton to be desired.
I'm a 9. I am worried. I am terrified that this team is going to be in the gutter by the end of the year. Now, listen, CJ Stroud, I'm sick of people saying CJ Stroud is better than Justin Herbert. It is not a thing. It's not a fact. It never was a fact. You have to understand, CJ Stroud played just as bad as Justin Herbert in the playoff game. I know Herbert threw more picks because tip passes and stuff, but CJ Stroud was horrible that game, okay? He was horrible coming into this season. He was horrible this weekend. He literally gets bailed out by his defense. I hate saying that because in a lot of instances it isn't true. But dude, he'll throw a pick and his defense will get the ball right back to him and he still won't score. It's insane. And Nick Chubb, out of all people, was trying to bail him out. Out of all people, Nick Chubb, the new addition on your team, the replacement for Joe Mixon right now because he's hurt, is bailing you out. Your O-liners can run block better than they can pass block, which is concerning as well. But CJ Stroud, I have the same concern as him as I do with Caleb Williams. They can't read a defense. It's disgusting. He'll throw it right to the defense, and it'll just be like, oh, what a great play by the defense. CJ Stroud, oh my God, he didn't mean to do that. It's just, dude, CJ Stroud is not good. I'm Team Bryce to this day.
I think Stroud got completely overhyped Stroud
Bryce.
Stroud was just a victim of being completely overhyped
Team
after his
neither.
rookie year because he got hot for a little while. It's kind of like what happened to Jordan Love a little bit, but I think a bit more severe of a case because people thought Stroud was going to be significantly better than Love was, and people still rushed to his defense. I don't think he was ever like that great to begin with. Like, was he very good his rookie year? Yes. Was he very good last year? No. Has he been very good to start this year? Also, no. I just don't. I think he got a bit overrated. That's just what I.
It'll be a 10 out of 10 for me if one of their big defensive players go down, like Will Anderson. If he goes down and with an injury, it's 10 out of
It'll
10
be
for me.
panic
But
time.
that's all for me on that.
All I'm gonna say is remember to close out this segment. Remember when everybody at before the draft was talking about C.J. Stroud and his football IQ, and everybody was like very concerned about that one test, and then everybody after his rookie year was like, "Oh, don't worry, guys. Like that was
I'm worried.
nothing. That was nothing." Maybe that was something to actually be worried about. Maybe people had a valid concern there. And as far as Team Bryce, Team Stroud, I'm team neither of them. I think that is
Oh,
just
wow.
a bust class.
Yeah, you're crazy. Bryce Young is in a worse situation by far, and he's a better quarterback.
Obviously, but I think he has the ability to do better than he's doing right now. I think that this is the year, and he hasn't shown.
What
me
is he
anything
supposed to
this
do?
year.
He can't do anything. He literally can't. If you watch that Cardinals Panthers game,
He was good that
struggling
game,
to
though.
move
He was
around
good. But yeah,
because
the line has been bad.
he got them back into that game single-handedly, and it's so hard for him right now.
Look, I am a Bryce supporter. I said that they were going to be better coming into this year, and so far they're not.
It's only week 2, man.
It's only week 2. It's only week 2.
I mean, they looked really bad week 1. I think there were definitely signs there at the end of that Arizona game, though, that you can take away as positives.
Pick it up this week, I promise. He's gonna pick it up. I promise he's gonna pick it up.
Who do
they play this week?
All right.
It's a great question. Let's look.
They got the Falcons at home.
Oh, yeah, the Falcons at home.
I mean, that's gonna be tough because that Falcons D line looks a lot better this year than they have.
Right.